most adolescents don't have the knowledge to properly navigate through this phase of their life. Hello, welcome to a talk with Precious. I am Precious Archibald, a writer and South Polish author. Here on my channel, we'll talk about a whole lot ranging from books to writing, to financial management, sex education, self-publishing, as well as relationship. So please stay tuned because I will be sharing with you an inspirational deep dive every Tuesdays. And so today we're gonna be talking about sex education. First up, what is sex education? Sex education is simply an instruction relating to human sexuality. At some point in our life as human beings, we're going to have to make this decision as far as sexual health. But researchers have shown that majority of adolescents lack this knowledge to properly navigate through this phase of their life, which some will leave them vulnerable to sexual transmitted diseases and unintended pregnancies. You know, most families and cultures sees talking to a child about sex as a taboo, and some parents feels if they talk any sex-related talk to a child, they are exposing that child to mental attitude, which isn't the case. You know, research that was conducted by UNICEF, the metadata actually shows that in developing countries, as with the exception of China, that it's about 11% of the female and 9% of male within the age bracket of 15 to 19 already proclaim to have sex even before they get to the age of 15. This is it. We live in an exposed world, the internet and the likes. In as much as this internet is a great source of exposure and influence, it does that both in a positive and in a negative way. You know, if you should tell an African mother that a child of 13 knows a whole lot about sex even when the family hadn't told them, she's gonna swear, yes. I could remember those times as teenagers. If a parent want to talk any sex related talk, they chase us away and sometimes they would leave a present. I'm not encouraging talking naughty talks in the presence of children, but as a human being, irrespective of whether that child is a teenager or an adult, I think a child of 10 should be told about sex. He or she should know the basics of sex. And now, when you talk sex talk to kids, well, most parents they will feel that, oh, this child is gonna get corrupt. But that is not it. When you tell these things to children, I think that you are building them to a better adulthood. Like you're preparing them sexually and otherwise. When you talk sex to children, teach them what sex is all about. It's going to help the female go into a better womanhood and the male into a better manhood. Now we're going to talk about the purpose of sex education. Firstly, it is going to prevent unintended and unwanted pregnancies. Now, when a child is well and properly told about sex, this child will be sensible in his or her dealings. Kids get pregnant because they lack the basic knowledge of sex. Sometimes before some of them get pregnant, I've seen a teenager who was being pregnant for like 5 months, but she never knew she was pregnant until the belly bump grew bigger and the parents like what happened. Even the parents never knew. So cases like that happen. But when a child is properly taught about it, sex education, it's going to help prevent this thing called teenage pregnancies. And secondly, it's going to prevent sexual abuses. Some time ago, I met a friend, so he began to tell me the horrible experiences he had as a teenager. He said that since he was not from that much of a well-to-do family, and sometimes whenever he's back home from school, he's gonna go home, and this fateful day when he took out his items to sale, a grown-up adult requested to buy. So she collected the goods and offered the guy the money, but he could not afford a complete balance for her. So she insisted the boy come the next day, which he did. According to the boy, when he went, she took him inside the house and began to sexually assault him. This is what a lot of kids are going through, and some of them, they never really knew that that thing that happened to them as a young child was called sexual abuse. They get to realize this when they have gone way past that stage of their life. So this sex education would help kids to overcome this sexual abuses. I mean, you should tell your child the importance and the purpose of every part of their body. If for the girl, if not just the girl, but the girl and the boy, this is your private part. These are the sensitive part. Anybody, male, female, whatever, that's trying to penetrate there, you should scream, tell your responsible adult. I mean, this thing should be told to kids to avoid this sexual abuse and all of that. So the purpose of this sex education would help a child. Sex education would help a child to finish school and then get married in a later life. A child of 15 getting pregnant, what next? She's definitely going to stay back from school. And sometimes after she must have finished birthing and nurturing that child, the urge for going back to school might not be there. Thereby leaving them at home and then becoming mother at a very young age. So this sex education would help to build a path around a child not going to school, staying at home because of pregnancy and the likes. Sex education is paramount. This thing should be told to kids before they get to the age of 15. Let them know what sex actually is, the consequences of premature involvement in sex and all of that. They should know. Like this guy I told you, he said after the experience he had, the scam still persisted till his present life. It actually ate and affected him in a very negative way. So that is it. Parents, guardians, co-responsible adults should teach this thing to children so that they can grow a healthy sexual life. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this talk.